Miss Lamarr, what kind of advice did you give your son when he started off on this career?
Advice? I hardly give advice. I give suggestions.
Well, let's make it a suggestion then.
Well, not to be an actor, for one thing.
In 1938, a ship carrying a mysterious European actress arrived in New York Harbor. The press called her the most beautiful woman in the world. Hollywood saw glamour, elegance, and box office potential. But what they did not see, and what almost no one saw, was a mind that refused to be confined by studio lights. In 1914, Hedy Lamarr was born Hedwig Eva Maria Keisler in Vienna, Austria. Her father, a banker, nurtured her curiosity. As a child, she would take apart music boxes and mechanical toys, studying how gears meshed and how springs worked. She was fascinated by cause and effect, by invisible forces that made visible things move. Yet, Europe in the 1930s was not kind to ambitious women. At 19, she starred in the controversial film Ecstasy, which brought her international attention. Soon after, she married Friedrich Mandl, a wealthy Austrian arms manufacturer with close ties to fascist leaders. Mandl was possessive, controlling, and he forbade her from acting. But this did not silence Lamarr's intellect. During dinners with military engineers and weapons designers, Hedy listened carefully. She absorbed conversations about radio signals, torpedoes, and emerging communication technologies. While others dismissed her as decoration, she was quietly learning. Eventually, she escaped. Disguised as a maid, she fled to Paris, then to London, and finally the United States. On that Atlantic voyage, she met Louis B. Mayer of MGM Studios, who signed her to a Hollywood contract and renamed her Hedy Lamarr. Hollywood would shape her into a star, but it would underestimate her completely. By the early 1940s, Lamarr had become one of MGM's most celebrated actresses. She starred alongside Clark Gable and Spencer Tracy. Cameras adored her. Magazine covers multiplied. Then the world went to war. The Second World War deeply disturbed her. As a Jewish woman who had fled Austria, she understood the stakes. She wanted to help the Allied forces, but not as a pinup model selling war bonds. She wanted to contribute intellectually. At the time, radio-controlled torpedoes were being developed. The problem was interference. Enemy forces could jam the radio frequency controlling a missile, rendering it useless. Lamarr believed she could solve that problem. Drawing from what she had overheard during her marriage to Mandl, she began working on a concept known as frequency hopping. The idea was deceptively simple, yet revolutionary. Instead of transmitting a signal on a single radio frequency, which is easy to intercept or jam, the signal would rapidly switch between multiple frequencies in a synchronized pattern. Only a receiver that knew the pattern could follow the signal. To help implement the concept, Lamarr partnered with avant-garde composer George Antheil. Antheil had experience synchronizing multiple-player pianos, mechanical instruments that followed perforated paper rolls. Together, they designed a system that used a similar principle to coordinate frequency changes between transmitter and receiver. In 1942, they were granted U.S. patent number 2,292,387 for a secret communication system. The Navy, however, did not take it seriously. The technology seemed too complex for wartime deployment. Therefore, the patent was shelved. Hollywood continued casting her as an exotic beauty, but the world continued overlooking a scientific breakthrough. Decades passed, and Lamarr's film career declined in the 1950s. The industry that had once idolized her had moved on from her. She lived largely in obscurity, far removed from red carpets and premieres. But her revolutionary idea did not disappear. In the 1960s, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, the U.S. military revisited frequency hopping, spread-spectrum technology. Advances in electronics finally made Lamarr's concept practical. Her original patent had expired by then, so she received no financial compensation, yet her innovation became foundational. Spread-spectrum communication is now embedded in modern wireless systems. It underpins technologies that define contemporary life, like Wi-Fi networks, Bluetooth connections, GPS systems, and secure military communications. Every time a smartphone connects to a router, every time wireless headphones pair with a device, echoes of Lamarr's idea are at work. In 1997, more than a half-century after her patent, Lamarr received the Electronic Frontier Foundation Pioneer Award. That same year, she was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame. She famously remarked, "Any girl can be glamorous. All you have to do is stand still and look stupid." Hedy Lamarr refused to stand still. She died in 2000 at the age of 85. By then, the digital revolution she had quietly helped enable was accelerating across the globe. Hedy Lamarr's story forces us to confront assumptions about beauty, about intelligence, and about who gets credit for innovation. She was not formally trained as an engineer. She did not work inside a research laboratory. She was an actress in a studio system that valued her face more than her mind. Yet, she conceptualized a communications breakthrough decades ahead of its time. Today, when we speak about Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or secure wireless networks, we rarely mention her name. But the invisible choreography of frequency hopping carries her intellectual fingerprint. The world once called her the most beautiful woman in film. History now calls her something more enduring, an inventor who helped shape the wireless age. If you enjoyed the story of Hedy Lamarr and would like to explore more stories where history hides brilliance in unexpected people, consider supporting our channel. Please like this video, subscribe for future biographies, and leave a comment suggesting the next hidden genius we should uncover.